Hi everyone. I want you to leave this presentation with three very distinct feelings. I want you to feel angry, I want you to feel inspired, and I want you to feel committed. I want you to feel angry because these 5 children and millions more are never going to see a school in their lives. They'll never hold pens and pencils like you did. They'll never learn how to read or write. I want you to feel inspired by people like her and so many more who are working towards one goal of achieving educational equity in the country. And I want you to feel committed. Committed so much that when you leave this room today, you feel committed to do something to bring a change. Now, my name is Tanya Sharma and I am a recruiter for Teach for India. How many of you here have heard of Teach for India? Okay, so you have a fair idea of what the organization does, right? So to understand what Teach for India does, we're going to have to understand the state of education in India, right? Now, can all of you please stand up? Thank you. So imagine that you guys constitute the entire country's children here. Let us imagine that, right? And you see, all of you are just about to start school, right? Now, if you could, can you guys please sit down? Thank you. Now, can anybody tell me what is the difference between the ones sitting and the ones standing in terms of education? Okay, great. So the ones who are sitting right now represent 4% of the children who will never go to school. And 4% right now seems to you a very small number, okay, 4 kids in 100. But you see, 4% when there are a total of 320 million children in India is a large number. And these 4% are not going to ever go to a school. Now, if you could, can half of the class please sit? Yeah. Can somebody tell me now what is the difference between the one sitting and the one standing? Okay. So the ones sitting now represent 42% of the children who will never see grade 6. They'll never go through grade 5 to reach grade 6. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's going to pass out after 5th grade. But some of them get out of school after 2nd, 3rd, 4th because of so many problems. Now imagine if you guys had never passed grade 5, you wouldn't have been here right now. You wouldn't have had the friends that you do. You wouldn't have read the books that you've read. You would not have had so many opportunities that you do right now, just like all of these kids. Now, I want only these people standing. Can the rest of you sit? Thank you. Now, the ones sitting represent 90% of the students who will never see college. Especially if you're a girl in rural India, only 1% of you is going to go through college. Imagine that, never going to college, passing grade 12, and that's it for you. There are so many opportunities that you're going to miss out. And that is why this brings us to the vision of Teach for India. There's only one mission, which is, can all of us please read this together? Yeah. One day all children will attain an excellent education. Now I want you to focus on 2 words here, all and excellent. All, because I'm not talking about most children. I'm not talking about more children than the ones who are getting education now. I am talking about every child. 320 million children receiving an education with no exceptions. And I want you to focus on excellent because excellent here represents the quality of education that you receive. And the quality of education is directly related to the standard of life that you're going to lead. If the standard of life is great, then that's going to make our country a great one. A greater one than it is already. I'm sure all of you are patriotic adults. But Imagine if every person has a good standard of life, a good quality education, then what would happen to this country? How much more we could explore and how much more we could grow. This brings us to the mission of Teach for India. To build a movement of leaders who will eliminate educational inequity in India. Focus on the word leaders here. Now, leaders tells you that the brightest and the smartest people of our country, if all of them come together to solve this problem, then how much more could we achieve? Now, I want you to meet a couple of people here. This is from LSR and IIT Bombay, Arushi and Rajiv. They are now fellows of the Teach for India Fellowship. This is Avantika Thakur. She completed law in Bangalore and she is now teaching 3rd grade in Delhi. And here's Akshay. He completed his graduation from Columbia University and is now a fellow. Then there's Robin and Ruchita, who left their jobs to join the fellowship to achieve this one single dream that all of us have. There's Bhavapriya and Ishpreet, who left companies like Google and Infosys, who are now internationally acclaimed companies, to join the fellowship program. Now, look at all of these names. All of these are the names of the colleges from where we receive applications every year. These are the names of the undergraduate colleges from around the country that we receive the applications from. Take a look. These are the postgraduate colleges from where we get applications. Here are the names of some of the international colleges. And this here is a list of the places where from where working professionals come to our place to join the fellowship. All in all, we have 382 colleges and 219 corporates from where we receive applications every year. This year, we received applications from 11,300 students and professionals and people from around the world. And the ones that were selected were 700. 700 of the 11,000 applications were received, were accepted. And let me tell you, this is where the mission statement comes from. Remember the mission statement that we read a couple of minutes back? I told you to focus on leaders. Now these are the leaders who we chose, the brightest of the lot. And I'm not trying to discourage you to not apply because the selectivity is so small. It's good because we are so selective because we care about the kind of education, about the kind of people who reach out to these young children who deserve a great education. As long as we keep receiving applications, we'll keep trying to reach out to as many children as we can. And that is the mission of Teach for India. Thank you so much.